Welcome back, everyone. We're continuing our series on understanding yourself and others using your results from your DiSC profile. During these videos, we're looking at the general characteristics associated with each DiSC style. We're also seeing how your style communicates, leads, works with others, and deals in conflict. Additionally, we're learning some key adapting and connecting behaviors for styles that are different from yours. Today, we're going to be looking at what it means to be conscientious, a high C value. Why should you watch this? Well, obviously, if your primary style is conscientiousness, your dot is in the C quadrant. Or if a team member of yours, if their dot is in the C quadrant. If your supervisor, manager, or leader has high C values. If your spouse or significant other is a C. And finally, if a customer or another stakeholder has high C values as well. Being conscientious is demonstrated or located on the lower left-hand corner of the DiSC graph, as demonstrated by the dots shown there. Preferred environment for high C individuals are where data and accuracy are highly valued, and also where logical responses and reactions are also valued. They also want an environment where there's not a lot of emotionalism. C's don't care for it and tend to look at emotionalism or feelings as a weakness. And they want calm conversations and interactions. Not a lot of emotionalism. They also want an environment where critical thinking and playing what ifs are highly valued and not frowned upon. And they have a strong need to be right. This one is matriculated in a lot of areas, teamwork, conflict, and also in their communication approach. Communicating with a high conscientiousness individual is a combination of S and D values. They're low key in tone and demeanor, while it's all right to be direct in approach with a C. Again, that's a combination of S and D values. They're non-animated in their facial and non-verbal approach, and they're reserved about personal disclosure, and they're not going to give in and tell you a lot about themselves. They value details that support the object or the objective of interactions, and sometimes their pondering looks like disengagement. Don't worry, they're just thinking, they're not really zoning out. In a teamwork environment, they prefer to work independently or in the support of others. And they play the role of critical thinker and often challenge groupthink. Also in teamwork, they tend to assert themselves when they're convinced by the righteousness of data and logic. And they'll also avoid some of the common social interactions associated with teams. They're there just to do the work. In decision making, high conscientiousness people are very deliberate in their approach. They attempt to gather a great deal of information, and in many cases too much information, or 100% of the information. They use logic almost entirely in decision making. They weigh the risks and outcomes very carefully prior to making a decision. And they can become paralyzed by situational analysis. Again, that relates to that need to gather a great deal of information prior to making a decision. They're not concerned, this is kind of a good strength, they're not concerned with the people or the personalities involved in conflict. In conflict, they're going to tend to defer it until the emotionalism of the situation is reduced. They like to win conflict based on the research and the information that they have gathered. They're going to have a big need to be right and win conflicts based on their logic and the information that they've gathered. In leadership, high conscientiousness values accomplishment and achievement. They use metrics and comparison for performance measurement, very data-driven. They value work quality highly, sometimes more than total production. And they're always very fair and consistent. That's key with them. Fair and consistent with team members, and they do a very good job of holding team members accountable. They're not very good at delegating or empowering others because of their belief that they can do things better. Particular challenges associated with conscientiousness are the need to gather all the information and the ability to begin working with shades of gray, to value people as much as their performance or their contribution, value the whole person, To acknowledge the role and need for emotion, plain and simply acknowledging that emotion exists and it has value. Provide a higher degree of correctly delivered positive feedback. This tends to be a really big challenge for a lot of high C leaders. And not ever to compare how you would do something to how a team member would do something. Thank you. In the next time we're together, we're going to look at some very interesting connecting and adapting behaviors. And if any of you are interested in updating your DiSC profile to the newest version or getting more, please contact us. And I look forward to interacting with you in our next session together.